Hey there, you're watching the Dave Does channel. This is Dave Does, and this is Dave Does Reacts. And today I'm going to be checking out some Corrosion of Conformity, and the song is Fire and Water. This is a new release. So yeah, looking forward to that. I wouldn't say, I was going to say I'm a huge Corrosion of Conformity fan, but I am a supporter of the band. Several albums, so Deliverance is one of my favourite albums of all time. Love the whole Wise Blood, Volume Dealer, Blind. They're all very, very cool. Not a big fan of some of the Animosity era and the earlier stuff, or some their kind of hardcore era. Have listened to it, the crossover thrash appeal of it, and it's interesting, but it's not really my sort of thing. But yeah, I think for me, peak period for Corosion for me was Deliverance. Was a phenomenal album and still one of my favourite of all time. So yeah, looking forward to checking this one out. Won't be pausing it, won't be talking during it, so I'll talk all about it at the end of the video. So I'm just going to watch it from start to finish. With that in mind, if you are interested in why I do what I do, I'm a musician myself. I play in the band Telescribe and Nothing Gain, drummer and one of the songwriters in those bands. So I think it gives me a slight element of why I do these videos. But if you get a chance, please do go check us out on Spotify and YouTube. Just do a search, Telescribe or Nothing Gained, or both. And if you like us, cool. And if you don't, absolutely fine, not a problem, because it doesn't matter what I say about music, what you say about music. It's just down if you like what music you like. Thumbs up to you, enjoy it. So let's see if I'm going to do that with Corrosion, Conformity and Fire and Water. Let's kick into this. Okay, there we go, Corosion, Conformity, Fire and Water. So I was having a quick look on my phone there because I didn't have any reference before I started doing the video as to what this was. And by the time we got into that kind of first chorus, I was sitting there listening to this going, this doesn't feel like a traditional Corosion Conformity song. So I felt like this must feel, it says jam session, so I'm like, is this a cover that they're doing? And initially I was thinking maybe this is a Lynyrd Skynyrd cover, because one of the things I noticed here is like Pepper Keenan's vocals are much higher. He tends to sing usually in a little bit lower, so I don't know if they're in a slightly higher tuning than they normally would be. And he's singing sort of half a key higher in the register. And of course it's actually off of Free, so yes, it's kind of same area, it's off the same album that they did All Right Now. So yeah, kind of cool. I haven't heard the original, obviously, otherwise I'd already known that reference. So it sounds like a very faithful cover, because one of the things that stands out for me with Corosion Conformity is specifically, obviously we lost Reed Mullin a few years back on drums, and he's a very distinctive drummer. He doesn't sort of sit in that pocket of standardized drums. He's very much like wherever you think the drums are going to go, he's going to add his own intrinsic groove to it. And you had Mike Dean who left, has been obviously now replaced on bass, and he again had his own very distinctive bass style and tone. And both of those were missing from this particular track, so this was a very standardized background bass. Drums was very kind of basic in the pocket, which is not what you would expect from Corosion Conformity. So that they were kind of the triggers of why this doesn't sound like a traditional Corosion Conformity song. I think if this had been a song that they had written, the drums would have had this much looser groove to it. The bass would have had this kind of more of a flow in. So I know when Mike was doing bass, he would have been up and down that neck, but adding some real nice color to the actual parts that were going on there. And I'll be interested to see when they come out with a new album how the new guys that are in the band are going to put their own stance on it, whilst also honouring the stylization. Because Corosion Conformity, one of the things that always stood out for me was their interest in songwriting ability, versus just being like a standard doom stoner band, because there's a lot of doomy stoner bands out there, but there are only a few that are very good and very interesting in what they write, and Corosion Conformity were very good at that, with Woody and Pepper guitar parts. Very, very cool, but you have to have that background of your drums and your bass have got to have that interesting colour to them. If you haven't, it just becomes a bit standardized. So I hope that they don't lose any of that, and that they honour their past recordings with creative parts, and I'm sure that the guys that come into the band, or are in the new guys in the band, will actually do that. As far as this cover, the song itself was cool, catchy. I couldn't imagine, after hearing that, what it sounds like from a Free point of view. I doubt it would sound quite as groovy, maybe. Groovy, baby. But I mean, you could hear it from Pepper's singing in this particular song. He sounded like a 70s rock, kind of stoner bluegrass rock band, and that's what it kind of came across as. So yeah, lacking the warmth of a Corosion Conformity song for me, an original, but interesting to see what they're going to do. I mean, I don't know if this is going to be like what they did with Metallica did with Garage Inc. Is this how they're kind of just getting themselves together, finding their feet as a band, and this was something interesting for them to do whilst they work on... I mean, that's what I was going to say. This is like one of the things you find as a band, especially when you're a young band, when you start out, is playing covers is how you find your sound. So you get 4 or 5 people in a band, you start a band, you come up with your, I really like Sepultura, or I really like this, and let's play this song, and you eventually, after you play all these covers and stuff, you start to find what is your band sound, what's your band sound going to be, how are you going to develop that, and how are you going to move that forward, and then you slowly build up your characteristics. And then when you join new bands, when that first band eventually splits up and you go off and join another band, you've then got your own sound that you bring in, So as for drums, I have a very specific style of drumming that I do. And whenever I join a band and I've worked with a certain guitarist for a certain period of time, we've got a connection and we know where we're going to go with it. And then I start working with a new guitarist and they're very different. So I then have to learn what they like, but I start to incorporate my style in with their style and something new comes out of it. And that's where these new bands develop. And I think that'll be interesting to see what happens with Corosion for me going forward. But yeah, enjoyable for what it was. But as I said, as it's a cover song, it's hard to kind of get yourself going, yeah, Corosion for me, man, yeah, they're back. It's going to be interesting, but it's a shame Mike Dean's not still involved, because I really enjoyed his bass playing on previous albums. So let me know what you think in the comments down below, though. But that was Corosion for me and Fire and Water, and I'll see you on a video sometime very soon. Take care.